we are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. Now Vidur left palace and was doing pilgrimage to all holy places, and in Mathura or Vrindavan he met Uddhav, and from him he's inquiring about all the family members, about Bhima, we heard, and others. Yesterday we heard, please tell me whether the unconquerable Bhima, who is like a cobra, has released his long-cherished anger upon the sinners. The field of battle could not tolerate even the wonderful playing of his club when he stepped on the path. So one can be angry on the sinners if it is out of compassion, to make them understand that that is wrong and to make others understand that is wrong. But if there is any ulterior motive due to false ego, then you will commit offense. It will be violence. So Prabhupada told, first we have to be angry to our own faults, own sins, own anarthas, other desires. We should rectify those first. Then, with those who have pure devotion and have love for all, they can also correct others because they will do it out of love, not out of false ego. Kachit yashodha rata yutapanam gandiva dhanvo paratarir aste alakshito yachara kuta gudo Maya Kirato Giri Shas Tutosha. Please tell me whether Arjuna, whose bow bears the name Gandiva and who is always famous amongst the chariot warriors for vanquishing his enemies, is doing well. He once satisfied Lord Shiva by covering him with arrows when Shiva came as an unidentified false hunter. Here in commentary, Lord Shiva tested Arjuna's strength by picking a quarrel with him over a hunted boar. He confronted Arjuna in the false dress of a hunter, and Arjuna covered him with arrows until Lord Shiva was satisfied with Arjuna's fighting. He offered Arjuna the Pashupati weapon and blessed him. Here Vidur inquired about the great warrior's well-being. Pashupati is Shiva, and there is also one philosophy after him. In those who are in Tamoguna, they are worshipping. In Vedanta Sutra you will find this Pashupati, that philosophy is also refuted. Because they think Shiva is supreme. And some other points there in Pashupati, so Vyasadeva is refuting that and establishing that Brahman is the cause of everything. Supreme Lord. Yamau utasvit tanayo pritaya parteir vrito pakshmabhir akshiniva remata udayam ride swariktham parat suparnav iva vajri vaktrat. Are the twin brothers who are protected by their brothers doing well? Just as the eye is always protected by the eyelid, they are protected by the sons of Prita, who snatched back their rightful kingdom from the hands of their enemy Duryodhana, just as Garuda snatched nectar from the mouth of Indra, the thunderbolt carrier. Here, in commentary, Indra, or in Bengali pronunciation, Indra, the king of heaven, carries a thunderbolt in his hand and is very strong. Yet Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, was able to snatch nectar from his mouth. Similarly, Duryodhan was as strong as the king of heaven, and still the sons of Pritha, that is the Pandavas, were able to snatch away their kingdom from Duryodhan. Both Garuda and the Parthas are pet devotees of the Lord, and thus it was possible for them to face such strong enemies. Vidur's inquiry was about the youngest brothers of the Pandavas, namely Nakul and Sahadev. These twin brothers were sons of Madri, the stepmother of the other Pandavas. But although they were stepbrothers, because Kunti took charge of them after the departure of Madri with her husband Maharaj Pandu, Nakula and Sahadev were as good as the other three Pandavas, Yudhishthir, Bhima and Arjuna. The five brothers are known in the world as regular brothers. The three elder Pandavas took care of the younger brothers, just as the eyelid takes care of the eye. Vidur was anxious to know whether, after winning back their own kingdom from the hands of Duryodhan, the younger brothers were still living happily under the care of the elder brothers. This is all in Mahabharata. Mahabharata is very long scripture. SRIMAD Bhagavatam has 18,000 verses. Mahabharata has 100,000, 1 lakh. But before, in India, they used to read in every house in the evening, not watching television like nowadays. Before, there was no electricity and no television, no internet, no this. So they were reading in the evening Mahabharata continuously and Ramayana, both, and doing Sankirtan. Those were good times. Now it is degraded. But how much Vyasadeva wrote, no one can imagine. For Vedas, there are so many verses, and Upanishads 108, then Vedanta Sutra, and 18 Puranas. Puranas are also very long. There are other Puranas who are longer than Bhagavatam. Some are shorter, some are longer, and then Mahabharata, very long, Ramayana, very long. And Bhagavad Gita, so how anyone can read all this? It's very difficult. And then you will see the Goswamis, they wrote so much explanations of our Shastra. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Jiva Goswami wrote so many, and Rupa Goswami, Sanatan, all, so much they wrote. And there are other writers also, and so many songs. Who can read all this? It is actually unlimited. So one has to hear, as per his capacity, what Krishna is providing him, Gurudev will give. Then, if one follows any part of Shastra, but really practically follows, then he can get ultimate goal of life. Because the purpose of all Shastra, Krishna told in Gita, is, by all the Shastras, I am to be known. So all Shastras, they make us, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami wrote, Veda Shastra kohe Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan. All Vedic Shastras, they are speaking these three topics about our relationship with Krishna in this world, and what is our eternal duty, and what is the ultimate goal of life. So one can read all this, or if one will meditate on mantra given by Guru, everything will be revealed. But the main point is Sharanagati, surrender, service to Krishna, then one will get eternal welfare. To make us inclined to serve Krishna, all Shastras are there. So here, this is from Mahabharata. Mahabharata is very, after Vyasadeva wrote other scriptures, then he wrote Mahabharata for more easy understanding of Vedic knowledge for Shudras and for ladies and others. They can get all teaching, and within Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita is there. Mostly all these sort of human-like these happenings are there in Mahabharata. What is the human nature, how they are doing, how quarreling, how friendship, how all these relationships, everything is there in Mahabharata. But it is very long. I saw our Maharaj, god brother of Gurudev, in Mayapur, in front of his room, in the light, sun, he was having a book like this. I did not see such a big book till then, very big. Then one day I came near and I read, it was in Bangla, then I saw it is Mahabharata. So he was reading in the morning. Aho pritapi dhriyate arbhakarte rajarshi varyena vinapitena yastveka viro dirato vijige dhanur dvitiyah kakuvas chata sra. Like nowadays you have those telenovels and soap operas and all these things, but in Mahabharata it is the same, so many these stories happening, but it is spiritual benefit. So before it was better. In India, when they were reading Mahabharata every night, so that was their television. But that are auspicious histories and Vedic knowledge, morality and what is seen, everything they could learn from Mahabharata. Oh my Lord, is Prita still living? She lived only for the sake of her fatherless children. Otherwise it was impossible for her to live without King Pandu, who was the greatest commander and who alone conquered the 4 directions simply with the help of a second bow. So like that, Gauriya Vaishnavas in the night time, they will read SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM Mahapuran. In the morning, Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita, again and again. At night time, SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, again and again. Somya nu shoche tam adah patantam bratre paretaya vidudruhe yah niryapito yena suhrit swapurya aham swaputram samanu vratena. O gentle one, I simply lament for he, means By him I was driven out of my own house, although I am his sincere well-wisher, because he accepted the line of action adopted by his own sons. Dhritarashtra and Pandu, their brothers, so he went again because he was supporting those 100 sons headed by Duryodhana, but they were wicked. So all what is sinful and wrong, one can learn from those. And what is good, one can learn from Pandava. So throughout whole Mahabharata, all this teaching is there. True stories. But they are not stories fictitious. They are actually, it was happening and it is happening in some universe. So one can get all teachings. Soham harer martya vidambanena drisho nrinam chalayato vidatu nanyo palakshya padavim prasadach charami pashyangata vismayotara. I am not astonished at this, having traveled over the world without being seen by others. The activities of the personality of Godhead, which are like those of a man in this mortal world, are bewildering to others. But I know of his greatness by his grace, and thus I am happy in all respects. One who knows Supreme Lord, he will have bliss everywhere. Because Krishna is bliss, and those who know him, they can see him everywhere, and they can serve him everywhere, so they are happy in all respects, full happiness they are having. Nunam nripanam tri madot pathanam mahim muhush chalayantam chamubi vadhat prapanarti jihir shayesho pyu peksha tagham bhagavan kurunam. Despite his being the Lord and being always willing to relieve the distress of sufferers, he, Krishna, refrained from killing the Kurus, although they committed all sorts of sins, and although he saw other kings constantly agitating the earth by their strong military movements, carried out under the dictation of three kinds of false pride. So this is the sin, they are agitating the earth. Lying also is agitating to earth. Three kinds of false pride. Here it is in commentary. There were many other kings on earth who had become very proud of three kinds of possessions: wealth, education, and followers. And they were constantly agitating the earth by movements of military strength. The Lord was just waiting to get them together on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and kill them all at one time, just to make a shortcut in his killing mission. Godless kings or heads of state, when puffed up by advancement of material wealth, education, and increase of population, always make a show of military strength and give trouble to the innocent. When Lord Krishna was personally present, there were many such kings all over the world, and he thus arranged for the battle of Kurukshetra. So, the Lord expressed his mission when he was showing Vishwarup. of killing as follows. I have willingly descended on the earth in my capacity of inexorable time, T capital, in order to decrease the unwanted population. Unwanted means sinners. Nowadays they wanted to depopulate the good persons. But Krishna wanted to depopulate those who are wicked. I shall finish all those who have assembled here except you, the Pandavas. This killing does not wait for you to take part in it. It is already arranged. All will be killed by me. If you want to become famous as the hero of the battlefield and thus enjoy the booty of war, then, O Sabyasachi, just become the immediate cause of this killing, instrumental, and thus take the credit. I have already killed all the great warriors, Bhishma, Drona, Jayadratha, Karna, and many other great generals. Do not worry. Fight the battle and be famous as a great hero. Krishna is, by time he's doing all this. So, and sometimes we cannot understand. Like we see why they are not getting punished. They're doing wrong activities, why they're not getting punished. But the point is, Krishna will give punishment at appropriate time. He knows how to do it. We need not I forgot how it's. We need not. I forgot. There is one word. Not exert our brain, but it is another one word. With this, Krishna already knows what is best for everyone and how he will do it. So we need not make plans and this. Only we have to surrender to Krishna and do what he wants. Then that will be best for everyone, for me and for all others. So here Krishna told to Arjuna, I kill them, so you do this as instrumental, then it is for the benefit of all. So we have to do what Krishna wants, not that we are making our own plans for the good of the whole world. That is not necessary. Krishna has better brain. We have to act according to his idea. Like Srila Sridhar Maharaj also told, for Vrindavan, you need not bring your brain. You don't need, they don't need your brain there. They only need your hands. You do service to Krishna as per their order. No need to bring your brain. They know better. So you surrender and do seva. Like here, Krishna also told, I did this, so you become instrumental. Ajasya janmot pata nashanaya karman akartur grahanaya pumsham nanu anyatha ko rhati dehajogam paro gunanam uta karma tantram. The appearance of the Lord is manifested for the annihilation of the upstarts. His activities are transcendental and are enacted for the understanding of all persons. Otherwise, since the Lord is transcendental to all material modes, what purpose could he serve by coming to earth? In commentary, he's doing lila to attract us to his service, That is primary point. The secondary purpose of his appearance is to annihilate the upstart asuras and to stop the nonsense of atheistic propaganda by less intelligent persons. By the Lord's causeless mercy, the asuras who are killed personally by the personality of Godhead get salvation. The meaningful appearance of the Lord is always distinct from ordinary birth. Even the pure devotees have no connection with the material body, and certainly the Lord who appears as he is in his Satchidananda form is not limited by a material form. He appears in his own form. By his will it is visible to all, but not all will recognize him as such. Like we cannot see deity, we see stone. But those who have surrendered and they are through service, then by his grace they can see that is Krishna there. So before I was telling about Mahabharata, in Chaitanya Charitamrita we heard that Raghupati Upadhyay, I think he was also a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So Mahaprabhu requested him to recite some shlokas, he composed some. So there he told, some people, they worship Shruti, some people worship Smriti, some worship Mahabharata, because they want to be released from death. But I worship Nanda Maharaj, because in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, the Parabrahma means supreme truth or supreme spirit, supreme person, Parabrahma, is crawling in his courtyard. So if I can get connection with Nanda Maharaj, then very easily I can attain realization of Krishna and service of him. So that is the most important, to worship devotee. And by his grace we can get everything. So what pure devotee or our guru, the one who is your guardian, who took responsibility, what he tells you to read, that will be beneficial to you. No need to read according to your own whims or think you have to read everything. Like, no, if you follow what your Gurudev says, the Gurudev is non-different from Krishna. Krishna came in the form of Guru, particularly for you in that way. So he is showing you the path, how you can attain Krishna. We need not, again, I cannot remember that word, that we need not our brain too much, not press our brain, but there is another word I forgot. No need to think. We have to surrender and do what they tell us to do. Tasya prapannakila lokapanam avastitanam anushasana arthaya jatasya yadushu ajasya vartam sake kirtaya tirta kirte. Oh my friend, please, therefore, chant the glories of the Lord, who is meant to be glorified in the places of pilgrimage. He is unborn, and yet he appears by his causeless mercy upon the surrendered rulers of all parts of the universe. Only for their interest did he appear in the family of his unalloyed devotees, the Yadus. Yes. He is meant to be glorified in the places of pilgrimage. Tirtha Kirte. Tirtha. That is the purpose of holy place. We should not go to holy place as a tourist to see what is there, or to go there picnic and doing sinful activities and like that. That is not the purpose of holy place. Purpose of holy place is to learn what kind of lila Supreme Lord performed here and his devotees. We have to hear from devotees and do bhajan. That is the point, not other things for enjoyment like tourism. That is not the purpose. Then everything becomes polluted. So here we should go to holy place to meet holy persons. For what? To hear about holiest Supreme Lord and to do his service. Next chapter 2, remembrance of Lord Krishna. Because one, during the time of Parangurudev, one Indian, he met Gurudev after some time. Then he said, I went there to Vrindavan, but nowadays Vrindavan is not so good as 30 years ago. It's not so good. I was there 30 years ago and now recently I went, but now it is not so good. Then Paranguru said, why? Then he said, 30 years back, I got very good rabri there. Rabri means that condensed milk you make, and then you make that cream and like this and some that sweet one preparation. So he said, very good rabri, but nowadays I cannot get such rabri. So Vrindavan is not as good as before. So he went there, why? For sense enjoyment, not for service of Krishna. So that is not point of going to holy place. Those who entered into holy place, they will see it is all blissful, like Goswamis. They could see very beautiful, all blissful, because with transcendental eyes, they are, with all senses, they are having contact with real Vrindavan. So for them, this is absurd to say, before Vrindavan was good, now it is not good. And now it's dirty, now not good, rabri, like this. It means no contact with Dham. But those who are devotees, service inclined, they can enter into real Dham, so they are not seeing any degradation of Vrindavan. They are experiencing new and new bliss all the time. Shri Shuka Uvach Iti Bhagavatah Prishtah Kshatra Vartam Priyashrayam Prativaktum Na Chotseha Outkantyat Smariteshwarah. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, when the great devotee Uddhava was asked by Vidur to speak on the messages of the dearest Lord Krishna, Uddhava was unable to answer immediately due to excessive anxiety at the remembrance of the Lord. Yah pancha hayano matra pratar ashaya yachitaha tan naichat rachayan yasya saparyam bala lilaya. He was one who even in his childhood, at the age of 5 years, was so absorbed in the service of Lord Krishna that when he was called by his mother for morning breakfast, he did not wish to have it. Uddhava. From natural instinct, he used to serve Lord Krishna even in his childhood. Sa katham sevayatasya kalena jarasangata prishtavartam pratibruyat bhartu padau anusmaran. Uddhava thus served the Lord continually from childhood, and in his old age that attitude of service never slackened. As soon as he was asked about the message of the Lord, he at once remembered all about him. Sa muhurtam abhut tushnim krishnangri sudaya brisham tivrena bhakti yogena nimagna sadhu nirvritaha. For a moment he remained dead silent, and his body did not move. He became absorbed in the nectar of remembering the Lord's lotus feet in devotional ecstasy, and he appeared to be going increasingly deeper into that ecstasy. Tivrena means very strong, intense bhakti yoga. Pula kod bhina sarvango munchan miladrisha shucha purnarto lakshita stena sneha prasara samplutaha. It was so observed by Vidur that Uddhava had all the transcendental bodily changes due to total ecstasy, and he was trying to wipe away tears of separation from his eyes. Thus, Vidur could understand that Uddhava had completely assimilated extensive love for the Lord. The sattvic bhavas all appeared. Here, Sai Maharaj saying they are described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Shanakair Bhagava Lokam Nrilokam Punar Agata Vimrijya Netre Viduram Pritya Hodhava Utsmayan. The great devotee Uddhava soon came back from the abode of the Lord to the human plane, and wiping his eyes, he awakened his reminiscence of the past and spoke to Vidur in a pleasing mood. By his remembrance, he entered that abode of Krishna. Transcendental, like pure devotees, sometimes when they are chanting, they are fully entering into Radha Krishna Lila, and they are serving in their spiritual form, and they don't know what is going on here in this world. Only when they come back, like Mahaprabhu also showed this. So when they come back, so then he spoke. Because one may think Uddhava soon came back from the abode of the Lord to human plane. He did not go anywhere. Why telling from abode? Means by his transcendental that remembrance, thinking, he was there on that transcendental plane in the abode of Krishna. Then he came out in this external consciousness, and then he spoke. Like Mahaprabhu also, so many times he showed this, and when he came back, then he spoke what he saw and some teaching to devotees. One of those teaching is Upadeshamrita. That was also Mahaprabhu seeing, and he came half out, semi-external consciousness. That time he started to speak those instructions, and Rupa Goswami was hearing, and in his own words he later told. So that is same as Shikastaka is directly by Mahaprabhu. Upadeshamrita is also by Mahaprabhu in the words of Rupa Goswami. So these two practical we have to follow. Practice is most important. Because anyhow you can never know everything. Krishna is unlimited, so you cannot bring him to your brain or even your soul, anything you can, and that is not necessary. What is necessary from us is service. By service, we can be happy, not by trying to know everything. Durbhago batalokoyam yadavo nitaramapi ye samvasanto navidur harim mina ivo dupam. This universe with all its planets is most unfortunate. And even more unfortunate are the members of the Yadu dynasty because they could not identify Lord Hari as the personality of Godhead any more than the fish could identify the moon. Fish cannot see the Ingita gyah puru praudha ekaramascha satvata Sattvatam Rishabam Sarve Bhutavasam Amamsata. The Yadus were all experienced devotees, learned and expert in psychic study. Over and above this, they were always with the Lord in all kinds of relaxations, and still they were only able to know Him as the One Supreme who dwells everywhere. The Yadus, or the residents of Dwaraka, however, could know Lord Krishna as Vasudeva, or the super soul living everywhere, but not as the Supreme Lord. The Yadus therefore accepted Lord Krishna as the super soul incarnated in their family and not more than that. Here, Ingitagya, expert in psychic study. Ingit. Ingit means like some science. Maybe another meaning also to this word. Devasya Maya Sprishta Ye Chanyat Asat Ashritaha Brahmyate Dhir Natad Vakye Atmani Uptatmano Haro. Under no circumstances can the words of persons, bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord, deviate the intelligence of those who are completely surrendered souls. Yes. Those who are living in reality, absolute reality, always they are saying what is the truth, and they are serving Krishna, and they are getting fulfillment. So how they will deviate from that by the advice of some people who are in illusion. They are always unhappy, and illusion they can never. Gurudev also is fully established in service of Krishna in that reality. So disciple may sometimes, because of his anarthas, try to little adjust something to Gurudev should do like this, change or adjust, like compromise like this. But proper Guru will never be shaken from his own position, and they will never change. Why? Because he knows what is truth and what is beneficial. So no amount of any suggestions from Maya, from Anarthas, can change his position. Pradarshya tapta tapasam, that is why we have to be guided by them, not by our own mind and intelligence. Then we will commit mistake. We have to completely surrender to pure devotee and follow only what they say. Pradarshya tapta tapasam avitripta drisham nrinam adayantar adhat yastu Swabimbam Lokalochanam. Lord Shri Krishna, who manifested his eternal form before the vision of all on the earth, performed his disappearance by removing his form from the sight of those who are unable to see him as he is due to not executing required penance. Only devotees they can recognize Krishna. And they are able to always see him. Like now when we were in Croatia on Siddhanta Maharaj's program, someone said that why we are only speaking about past times, not current times. The point is, some people, not he, but he made like as a kind of joke or something, but I heard some people, they misunderstand this word past time to mean past time, something which was happening in the past. But pastimes is an English word for some like Lila. And anyway, Krishna Lila is not something which was happening in the past. It was happening, but it is also happening now, and it will happen. It is eternal. All the time going on, it is manifested in some universe, and then when Krishna will disappear, in another universe like this, and not whole Leela in one universe, and then from there, after finishing new from, no, every Leela, like birth pastime, is happening in this universe, when Krishna in this universe will make second pastime, like killing of Putana, then birth pastime already will happen in another universe. So it is all the time happening. And then someone said also, which is true, that even now Krishna is doing pastimes on this earth in Vrindavan or in Navadip Mahaprabhu, even now. But that is not manifested to all. Then Maharaj, Siddhanta Maharaj gave one verse from Chaitanya Bhagavat that those who are fortunate, means devotees, they can see even now. So it is not past times. It is all the time happening, but we are not able to see. Here also, his form from the sight of those who are unable to see him due to not executing required penance. Like Narad Goswami also, he was doing penance, devotion, and he got darshan of Krishna and all ecstatical symptoms, but then Krishna disappeared. Then Narad tried again, but could not get that darshan. He did exactly same. Then he was fully disappointed, trying again and again. Then he surrendered. Then a voice only of Krishna came. He said, I showed you myself, but you cannot see me anymore because you are not yet accomplished in your sadhana. You still have some impurities, so you cannot see me. When you will be fully pure, then you can see me. Also, what I showed you now, it is not due to your own penance, that your penance is so high that you can deserve. No, it was my causeless mercy, only to make you more greedy, to practice more, so that you will be more desirous of getting the result. So like that, we can see Krishna only by his grace. Sometimes he may give like causeless mercy, he may show you something only to encourage you, but otherwise, according to your how much you deserve, according to the degree of your surrender, you can get realization of him, like that verse of Bhagavatam. If you eat one morsel of food, that much you will get nourishment, happiness, and a removal of pain of hunger. Like that, how much you are sincerely doing devotion to Krishna, up to that degree you will get a realization of him, devotion to him, and detachment from everything which is not for his service, all non-eternal desires. This. Yan martya lilo paikam swajoga maya balam darshayata grihitam Vismapanam swasya cha sobagardhe parampadam bhushana bhushanangam. The Lord appeared in the mortal world by his internal potency, Jogamaya. He came in his eternal form, which is just suitable for his pastimes. These pastimes, because it is P-A-S-T-I-M-S, it is not past times, but it is pastimes. That is sport, lila, play. These pastimes were wonderful for everyone, even for those proud of their own opulence, including the Lord himself, in his form as the Lord of Vaikuntha. Narayan is also attracted by Krishna Lila. Thus, his, Sri Krishna's transcendental body is the ornament of all ornaments. Kamsa saw Krishna but could not recognize him. Hiranyakashipu also saw Krishna but could not recognize. Ravan saw Ramchandra but could not recognize. So Krishna may be manifested, you can see, but if there is no devotion, then you cannot recognize. But those who have devotion, even if Krishna is not manifested, they can always have contact with him, like Prahlad Maharaj, inside. He was always getting darshan of Krishna, and touch also. So tomorrow we will hear further.